We are resilient because this is how we were raised, to never give up. If there is anything COVID-19 will teach us, it will be new forms of caring. It has shown us how we are all connected to each other. We are now more connected than ever. In this unprecedented time, we want to make it easier for the businesses.
Yang menghambat investasi, semuanya harus dipangkas.
What do you think about red tape in Indonesia?
The government of Indonesia, especially the Indonesia Investment Coordination Board, is taking great efforts to make Indonesia the most developed and the most investor-friendly destination in the world. The country is today an ideal investment destination, highly attractive to the global business community.
We understand it is a Herculean effort, but we can clearly see the efforts of the government to simplify and synchronize multiple bureaucracies. The implementation of OSS, the online single submission, to be the central platform for companies to submit various business licenses is a great initiative.
What makes your company invest in Indonesia? What are the key drivers?
Indonesia has the right demographic dividends. In short, we have the right climate for investment. In 2020 and 2021, despite facing the COVID pandemic, Nestle Indonesia has embarked on one of our biggest investment projects in Indonesia. We are building our 4th greenfield factory.
We are a toy manufacturer, which is regarded as a labor-intensive industry. So that we decided to go to Indonesia because of the attractive labor cost there and also plenty of workforce. So that's the main reason that we go to Indonesia.
If you have a suggestion for the government of Indonesia on how to improve the investment climate, what would that be?
その理由はインドネシアが世界で4位の人口を有しており、経済成長も著しい。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. May we have your attention, please, as we are about to start the whole program for this business forum. We would like to invite you, for those of you who already finished the lunch, please gather back in the ballroom and please be seated. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who already finished the lunch, please kindly gather back in the ballroom. You may take your chair. We are about to begin the whole program for the Business Forum this afternoon. And of course, before we start the event today, we would like to kindly request you all to turn off your cellular phone and also any other communication devices, or you may set it into the vibrate or silent mode during the Business Forum. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we kindly request you to turn off or change the mode of your cellular phone and also other communication devices into silent or vibrate mode during the Business Forum, of course, for our own convenience. Thank you so much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to also inform you that during the Business Forum, we provide you with translation service. So for those of you who attend and participated physically here at Dubai, you may use the interpreter receiver located on your table. Channel 1 is for English and Channel 2 for Arabic. And for those of you who join us for online or virtually, you may just go through the language interpretation options on your Zoom channel, and then you can just choose your preferred language. We also have the Arabic and also English services. Thank you. Investors, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are already joining us here in the ballroom of Sofitel Dubai, we would like to request you to be seated as the program is about to begin. Thank you.
Our streets are suddenly quiet. Our people too. Our kids can't go to school, can't play outside and make friends. This generation is glued to screens. This crisis has hit us all very hard. But we are managing well. We are adapting. We remain vigilant. We are resilient. Because this is how we were raised. To never give up. If there is anything COVID-19 will teach us, it will be new forms of caring. It has shown us how we are all connected to each other. We are now more connected than ever. In this unprecedented time, we want to make it easier for the businesses.
Yang menghambat investasi, semuanya harus dipangkas.
What do you think about red tape in Indonesia?
The government of Indonesia, especially the Indonesian Investment Coordination Board, is taking great efforts to make Indonesia the most developed and the most investor-friendly destination in the world. The country is today an ideal investment destination, highly attractive to the global business community.
We understand it is a Herculean effort, but we can clearly see the efforts of the government to simplify and synchronize multiple bureaucracies. The implementation of OSS, the online single submission, to be the central platform for companies to submit various business licenses is a great initiative.
What makes your company invest in Indonesia? What are the key drivers?
Indonesia has the right demographic dividends. In short, we have the right climate for investment. In 2020 and 2021, despite facing the COVID pandemic, Nestle Indonesia has embarked on one of our biggest investment projects in Indonesia. We are building our 4th greenfield factory.
We are a toy manufacturer, which is regarded as a labor-intensive industry. So that we decided to go to Indonesia because of the attractive labor cost there and also plenty of workforce. So that's the main reason that we go to Indonesia.
If you have a suggestion for the government of Indonesia on how to improve the investment climate, what would that be?
その理由はインドネシアが世界で4位の人口を有しており、経済成長も著しく、さらに投資環境の改善をするためには基幹産業の育成が重要だと考えます。
印尼的投资环境，我认为需要改善的是交通。交通是一个国家发展经济主要条件。建议政府有针对性的建设交通设施，吸引投资，吸引人才。
I would like to urge and ask help for our government to think about end-to-end program. We've done superbly well from where we were until today. We've cut a lot of bureaucracy. So that's what I would like to request the government to fight for our products.
We encourage the government in improving in the area of intellectual property, as it will also be an added value for any investor, allowing for sufficient protection to increase confidence in sustainable business continuity in Indonesia.
To respond to those issues, what BKPM has to say.
Para investor yang saya hormati, di tahun 2020, di mana di era pandemi COVID-19, kita berhasil mencatat realisasi investasi sebesar 826,4 triliun, di mana 33%-nya adalah di sektor industri. Investor dimanapun berada dibutuhkan kepastian, kemudahan, transparansi, dan efisien. Lewat Undang-Undang Cipta Kerja, semuanya perizinan sudah berbasis elektronik dan berbasis OSS. Dan semuanya terpusat pada satu pintu. Hal ini kita lakukan semata-mata adalah untuk bagaimana mendorong untuk percepatan realisasi investasi dan kemudahan berusaha di Indonesia bisa kita wujudkan.
Invest in a country whose people never give up. Invest Indonesia now.
Indonesia, the country with an abundance of resources, spread far and wide. Indonesia is busy transforming. We move forward to grow and thrive. We balance the green economy, blue economy, and the digital economy. With the new job creation law, Indonesia is progressively ensuring the policy reform to create quality jobs through investment. Let's be part of Indonesia's growth and progress. Invest in Indonesia now.
Begin your investment journey in Indonesia. Indonesia has growing business opportunities and great investment potential. The majority of the Indonesian population is of productive age. This number will reach its peak in 2030. Supported by a strong economic base, 60% of the gross domestic product comes from domestic consumption. The IMF predicts that Indonesia will be among the top 10 countries with the highest GDP in the world by 2024. To increase its hospitality for investment, Indonesia has built several infrastructures to support economic transformation. Presenting Grand Batang City, the largest integrated industrial estate in Indonesia.
His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the UAE, Bapak Husin Bagis. His Excellency, the Minister of Investment, the Chairman of Indonesia Investment Coordinating Board, Bapak Bahlil Lahadalia, and also the Deputy Minister from the Ministry of Investment, Bapak Nurul Ihwan, and also Bapak Riyadno. His Excellency, the Minister of National Development Planning, Head of National Development Planning Agency, Bapak Suharso Mono Arfa, and the Secretary of the Ministry of the National Development Planning, Bapak Himawan Haryoga. Honorable to the Deputy Minister for Development Funding Affairs, the Ministry of National Development Planning Agency, Bapak Snyder Klasein Hasudungan Siahaan. The Vice President of External Relations of DP World, Mr. Federico Banos Lindner. Honorable investors, speakers, moderators, ladies and gentlemen who attend this business forum physically and also virtually. May we greet you all in the Bahasa Indonesia of Selamat Siang, which means good afternoon, Yaumun Said, Marhaba. So, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to this beautiful afternoon. Welcome to the Business Forum of Indonesia and the UAE Exploring Connections 2021. Excellencies, honorable investors, ladies and gentlemen. Like how all best stories start, the official bilateral relation between Indonesia and the UAE also began with once upon a time in 1976, 45 years ago. And this bilateral connections is deep-rooted and also should be further developed. We have a very close cultural ties, and we also have a shared commitment to enabling greater economic development and also prosperity between both countries. And up till now, the partnership is even stronger. In this delightful afternoon, we will hear a warm welcome, which will be delivered by His Excellency Bapak Husin Bagis, the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the UAE. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Bapak Husin Bagis.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon. Minister of Investment and his representative, Minister of National Development Planning and his representative, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Ahlan wa sahlan, it is my great intention to welcome you all in the business forum held by Ministry of Investment and Ministry of National Development Planning in Dubai today. Indonesia and Emirates Arab have strong bilateral ties between both countries. President Joko Widodo, Alhamdulillah, went a successful visit to United Arab Emirates earlier this month. The visit strengthened the bilateral relation as well as economic cooperation between both countries. In the third visit to United Arab Emirates, President Joko Widodo conducted a productive bilateral meeting with His Highness Syekh Muhammad bin Zayed Al Nahyan and His Highness Muhammad bin Nasir Al Maktoum. And President Jokowi also visit to the Emirates, convey three important messages. Firstly, promoting strategic investment deal, particularly on sustainable energy, medical, vaccine, data center, infrastructure, artificial intelligence, and the digital economy. Secondly, promoting Indonesia readiness to welcome Indonesia Emas 2045, including the development of new capital city. And thirdly, the completion of Indonesia Emirates Arab Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which aim to boost the balance of trade between both countries. There are 10 agreements between government agencies as well as 19 business agreements that has been signed during the visit. The various agreements signed both between government and between businesses show that there are a lot of potential for cooperation between Indonesia and the Emirates Arab that can still be developed. Among them are in the field of sustainable development, climate change, handling the COVID-19 pandemic, and others. What should be noted is that in the last 18 months, in the midst of difficult pandemic situation, when many cooperative relations between countries have declined, the cooperation between Indonesia and Emirates Arab, alhamdulillah, has actually increased significantly. The visit of President Joko Widodo and today's forum should be interpreted as the effort of the two countries to continue to grow their economy during the recovery period from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. The Business Forum today provides instrumental information to amplify the visit of President Joko Widodo by offering the investment opportunities in many sectors in Indonesia. That immediate commitment is there. And I would like to encourage all parties to work together to boost the investment realization. I encourage also the Emirates Arab companies to optimize the forum by having as much as information from the official and sources by Ministry of Investment and Ministry of National Development Planning. And we are at the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Abu Dhabi is stand ready to assist and facilitate any investor needs. If you wish all the participants an excellent and productive forum. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much to His Excellency Bapak Husin Bagis, the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the UAE. Excellencies, honorable investors, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia's strong economic growth and also favorable demographic make it a great country for investors. Our economy is expanded by 3.51% year-on-year on the third quarter of 2021, and we believe that the growth will rebound in 2022, driven by ongoing global economic improvements, the growing domestic demand on consumption, and also investment. Today, the Minister of Investment of the Republic of Indonesia will present you an update on current investment climate and also the opportunities of Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Bapak Bahlil Lahadalia, the Minister of Investment, Chairman of Indonesia Investment Coordinating Board.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Yang saya hormati Menteri Perencanaan Pembangunan Nasional, Kepala Bappenas, Bapak Suharso Mano Arfa, Duta Besar Republik Indonesia untuk Persatuan Uni Emirat Arab, Yang Mulia Pak Husin Bagis, Duta Besar Persatuan Uni Emirat Arab untuk Republik Indonesia, His Excellency Pak Esam bin Abed Al-Thaqafi, dan seluruh peserta yang berbahagia. Pertama, saya harus menyampaikan bahwa kondisi pandemi COVID-19 secara global yang sudah berjalan hampir 2 tahun, sampai sekarang belum ada satu tanda-tanda titik terang untuk bisa kita selesai. Yang ada hanyalah masing-masing negara bisa memanage dalam rangka pengendalian COVID-19. Dan persoalan COVID-19 betul-betul menjadi sebuah persoalan yang sangat terkait eratnya dengan persoalan ekonomi. Persoalan kesehatan, persoalan ekonomi, dan mungkin berdampak pada persoalan sosial. Ekonomi global pun ikut terpengaruh, termasuk di Indonesia. Di Indonesia, di 2020, pertumbuhan ekonomi nasional kita itu tumbuh negatif. Dan di 2021, kuartal kedua, Indonesia sudah mulai tumbuh positif menjadi 7,07%. Di mana pertumbuhan ekonomi tersebut kontribusinya 57% adalah dari konsumsi dan investasinya kurang lebih sekitar tumbuh 7-8%. Di kuartal ketiga, Indonesia mengalami suatu persoalan besar terkait dengan virus COVID-19, yaitu virus Delta. 3 bulan dalam kurun waktu kuartal ketiga itu hanya efektif 1 bulan. Kita tahu bahwa itu adalah puncak pandemi yang luar biasa sekali. Namun lagi-lagi Indonesia berdasarkan pengalaman pada 2020 dalam mengendalikan pandemi COVID dan berhasil pertumbuhan ekonominya tumbuh 3,5%. Kali ini kontribusi yang paling besarnya adalah ekspor impor yang tumbuh hampir 50%. Kemudian yang kedua adalah investasi. Data tersebut mencerminkan bahwa sekalipun pandemi COVID-19, Indonesia masih tetap menjadi salah satu negara tujuan investor. Sebab foreign direct investment di global itu turunnya 30%, tapi di Indonesia turunnya tidak lebih dari 7%. Bahkan di tahun 2021, itu pertumbuhan foreign direct investment Indonesia tumbuh sekitar 3-4%. Dan realisasi investasi kami di Indonesia yang ditargetkan 900 triliun, sekarang sudah mencapai 73,4%. Dari potret tersebut, memberikan cukup sebuah gambaran bagi kita, bahwa pemerintah Indonesia ini sudah mulai berubah. Yang dulunya para investor susah untuk mendapatkan kepastian, mendapatkan transparansi, kecepatan dan efisiensi dengan pemberlakuan Undang-Undang Cipta Kerja yang memangkas seluruh bagian yang menghambat investasi, maka hari ini sudah kita rasakan. Transformasi ekonomi adalah salah satu visi besar Bapak Presiden Republik Indonesia, yang ujungnya adalah bagaimana meningkatkan nilai tambah, dan sudah barang tentu instrumennya adalah industrialisasi. Hubungan kedua kepala negara, baik Bapak Perintah Presiden dengan Bapak Raja di Uni Emirat Arab, mempunyai hubungan yang sangat luar biasa sekali. Tidak hanya pada konteks formal dalam membangun hubungan kedua negara, tapi juga lebih pada persoalan hubungan pribadi. Inilah yang membedakan Indonesia dengan Uni Emirat Arab dibandingkan dengan Indonesia dan negara-negara lain. Dalam konteks itu, hari ini kita kemarin baru balik dari Abu Dhabi sama Dubai dengan Bapak Presiden. Kami di sana sudah melakukan komitmen investasi kurang lebih sekitar 29 hampir 30 billion US dollar. Ditambah dengan kami teken MOU dengan Air Product di sana kurang lebih sekitar 44 billion US dollar totalnya. Momentum ini kita harus jadikan sebagai momentum yang tepat. Karena ini adalah sebuah secercah harapan baru di mana sebagian investor dari Uni Emirat Arab akan masuk pada pembangunan infrastruktur, data center, kemudian melakukan hilirisasi terhadap sumber daya alam, baik oil and gas maupun di bidang pertanian. Inilah kemudian kalau mampu kita terapkan secara baik, maka saya pikir ini akan membangun keuntungan bagi kedua belah pihak. Tidak hanya itu, bahwa Presiden Jokowi waktu kami mendampingi dengan pertemuan 20 investor dari Uni Emirat Arab, itu menawarkan 4,2 juta hektar lahan yang ada di Indonesia. Oleh karena itu, apa yang ditawarkan nantinya, beberapa proyek-proyek strategis nasional ataupun proyek-proyek lain yang sudah kita lewat due diligence dengan baik, saya pikir ini adalah sebuah opportunity yang positif. Nanti urusan perizinan, urusan persoalan-persoalan domestik, kami pemerintah akan membantu sepenuhnya. Karena itulah komitmen Bapak Presiden. Dan juga komitmen kami semua di anggota kabinet. Tinggal Bapak Ibu yang akan melakukan investasi di Indonesia, kami menunggu dengan cukup membawa kapital, teknologi, dan sebagian pasar. Sudah barang tentu sebuah tantangan bersama. Kolaborasi adalah kata kunci keberhasilan sebuah investasi, sekalipun diawali dengan kompetisi. Karena itu dalam Undang-Undang Cipta Kerja, kami mewajibkan memang ada kolaborasi antara investor asing maupun dalam negeri dengan pengusaha-pengusaha nasional yang ada di daerah termasuk UMKM. Sebagai bagian dari sebuah proses untuk bagaimana menciptakan pertumbuhan ekonomi kawasan dan bagaimana mengurangi Gini rasio dan sekaligus daerah dijadikan sebagai subjek dan objek pembangunan ekonomi tersebut. Di akhir sambutan saya pada kesempatan yang berbahagia ini, saya ingin mengatakan bahwa pemerintah Indonesia dalam menyikapi pasca keputusan Mahkamah Konstitusi terkait dengan Undang-Undang Cipta Kerja, maka dengan ini saya menyatakan bahwa tidak ada satu pasal pun yang dinyatakan tidak berlaku. Semua perangkat dari undang-undang, peraturan pemerintah sampai dengan permen dan kepmennya semua berlaku. Karena itu tidak perlu ada keraguan bagi saudara-saudara yang akan melakukan investasi di Indonesia. Pemerintah Indonesia akan menjamin bahkan bahwa Presiden Republik Indonesia Bapak Joko Widodo berada pada garda terdepan untuk memimpin langsung dalam proses ini. Kami yakin dan percaya bahwa ke depan Indonesia akan semakin baik. Dalam konteks menyikapi hal tersebut, kami pikir kami dikasih waktu 2 tahun oleh Mahkamah Konstitusi untuk melakukan perbaikan-perbaikan. Sudah barang tentu perbaikan-perbaikan tersebut sesuatu hal yang konstruktif, produktif, dan dalam rangka membangun iklim investasi yang lebih baik. Selamat berdiskusi, selamat melakukan pertemuan-pertemuan yang positif untuk bagaimana bisa kita mewujudkan kerjasama yang saling menguntungkan. Terima kasih. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dan salam sejahtera untuk kita semua.
Thank you to His Excellency Bapak Bahlil Lahadalia, the Minister of Investment, Chairman of Indonesia Investment Coordinating Board. Ladies and gentlemen, what makes Indonesia potential? Indonesia is an archipelago with abundant natural resources, large young population, and growing middle class that makes it become the largest economy in the Southeast Asia. With 268 million population and GDP over $1 trillion, growing middle class, stable economy, Indonesia is absolutely a potential and attractive destination, a promising destination for investment for various sectors. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Bapak Suharso Mono Arfa, the Minister of National Development Planning, the head of National Development Planning Agency.
His Excellency Bahlil Lahadalia, Minister of Investment, Chairman of the Indonesian Investment Coordinating Board, His Excellency Husin Bagis, the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the United Arab Emirates, His Excellency K. Chandra Negara, Consul General of the Republic of Indonesia, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, His Excellency Sultan Ahmed bin Sulaim, CEO of Ppp Project.
Honorable speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Indonesia has a vision to become a developed country with the 5th largest GDP per capita in the world by 2045. In an effort to achieve this vision, Indonesia has to be able to escape from the middle income trap in 2036 by urgently promoting economic transformation supported by development pillars, human and science and technology development, equity, national security and governance, and sustainable economic development. Efforts to encourage the achievement vision are translated by the government into the 2020-2024 National Medium-Term Development Plan. Hence, the plan becomes a starting point and a solid foundation for advancing Indonesia, and Indonesia's economy is expected to increase 5.7 to 6% on average, in which investment as the main driver of economy has to increase 60.6 to 7%. In order to achieve the plan's economic growth target, financing is needed at 35,000 trillion or something US dollar to $2.4 billion US dollar. And however, the government has limited funding capacity, which can only contribute 8.4 to 10% of financing needs. Therefore, the involvement of the private sector in financing the economic is an important factor to ensure the success of Indonesia's development. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, aim to support business and investment. Indonesia government enacted a lot of law in 2020, which provides a legal certainty to facilitate for business and investment. Also in improving labor climate and industrialization. In addition, the government also enhances the role of private sector in financing the economy by formulating several innovative financing schemes of collaboration between private and public sectors. The government is currently encouraging the use of innovative financing schemes such as public-private partnership, blended financing, asset recycling, and other forms of innovative financing. As a means to accelerate the achievement of national development target, these schemes will increase cooperation between the government and business enterprise in order to reduce the burden of government funding contribution. The combined expertise and assets can be utilized as both parties fit and provide benefits for each party with a proportional allocation of risk. These financing schemes will assist the government in maximizing the leverage of public funding sources and bring in private investment for national development. Investment relations between Indonesia and the UAE have been improving for the last 5 years, especially in 2018 and 2019, with investment values of $69.9 million US dollar and $69.7 million US dollar respectively. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic happened and economic performance has been negatively affected since 2020, including the investment sectors. Although there is an increase in total project number, the investment value is increasing to $20.6 million US dollar in 2020 and only $7.8 million US dollar for this year. In the midst of the post-pandemic economic recovery, Indonesia hopes to take the opportunities presented by this business forum to find a suitable form of collaboration between Indonesia, the UAE, and the Middle East, so that all countries can progress together and benefit each other. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in order to build back the investment climate after the pandemic, we would like to affirm the importance of innovative financing, Innovative financing plays a crucial role in supporting sustainable infrastructure development due to a large proportion of the government budget being allocated for handling the pandemic. We would also to mention several potential implementation of innovative financing in Indonesian infrastructure projects, such as first, the government encouraged private participation through public-private partnership scheme to support infrastructure development in Indonesia. Second, the optimization of low-cost fund as an alternative financing for infrastructure development, especially for project refinancing. Alternative financing from different sources can be utilized by considering the level of risk. And third, by encouraging the use of government bonds as a potential source of infrastructure financing. It is hoped that the implementation of innovative financing could support the sustainable infrastructure development that will contribute to Indonesia's economic recovery. The government will continue to make numerous efforts to improve Indonesia's investment climate. We will keep exploring and maximizing the use of non-conventional funding sources by adapting to change in the global financial architecture, such as the practice of corporate social responsibility activities, direct lending from development partners to state-owned enterprise and municipal development fund. In accordance with the principles of sustainable development, the government is also looking into green funding practices. It is expected that many public investment in the future will be funded from a mix of various funding sources or blended financing activities with large public benefit. Therefore, we believe that this business forum is a great opportunity to introduce many of our projects and affirming that we are open to collaboration and in hopes of a successful economic recovery and enhanced investment climate. We sincerely hope this forum will be insightful for Indonesia, the UAE, and the Middle East. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
population that will doubtless drive the country's economic growth for the next 20 to 30 years. In addition, President Jokowi's administration's proactive policies have set the right context to encourage business investment, particularly from overseas investors who can add value to the country and to the country's economy. In particular, the Indonesian government has pursued the Toll-Out project, which seeks to improve domestic sea transportation through the establishment of a more efficient liner shipping network supported by improving port facilities. As was mentioned, DP World has recently signed a strategic alliance agreement with the Indonesian Investment Authority, the INA, to partnership aims to improve the operation of ports, reduce logistics costs, and advance the national competitiveness of Indonesia. In addition, DP World has formed a partnership with the Maspion Group to develop a new integrated container terminal and substantial for consumers. Both partnerships will see DP World implement our strategy of becoming a true end-to-end global leader of data-driven logistics expertise and global infrastructure. And we will aim to bring our technology and best practices to develop new port terminals and assets, enabling greater shipping efficiency, greater maritime efficiency, and to enhance inter-island and international connectivity for Indonesia. I would like to also take a moment to again thank His Excellency Hussein Bagis, Ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, and his team, who were extremely helpful in facilitating the formation of these partnerships. And we're very thankful to him and his team for his continued and untiring support. Allow me also to take this opportunity to congratulate Indonesia for its forthcoming presidency of the G20, encouraging all countries to work together to achieve a stronger and more sustainable recovery for the world. This is indeed a priority we fully support. We wholeheartedly also welcome Indonesia's willingness to take the lead on ensuring equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines around the world and to promote a sustainable and inclusive economic development and recovery through the digital economy. Access to vaccines, by the way, is something that is very close to our hearts, as we have partnered with UNICEF to ensure that COVID vaccines and also critical supplies reach the countries that need them most. At the end of the day, the pandemic will not leave the world up until everybody has been vaccinated and everybody has access to economic recovery. In addition, we appreciate the private sectors, the B20s, their focus on trade, and in particular, your willingness to facilitate a dialogue around how to implement an open, fair, and efficient post-pandemic global trade. At DP World, we will be delighted to contribute to this endeavor throughout your presidency of the G20. And we look forward to forging a strong and enduring and a successful partnership with Indonesia for the prosperity of its people. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope that all of you enjoy the rest of this event. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much. Please remain on the stage. Once again, the Vice President, please remain on the stage. Mr. Federico, may I invite you once again to be on the stage as we will now continue with the photo session. This is, of course, to commemorate this important occasion, So we would like to also invite to join us here on the stage for the photo session, His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the UAE, Bapak Husin Bagis. Please join us here on the stage. And then, of course, the Deputy Minister from the Ministry of Investment, Bapak Nurul Ihwan, and also Bapak Riyadno. All panelists and also moderators, please join us here on the stage for the photo session. May I request you to bring your mask, as we will have 2 sessions for the photo. So with mask and without mask, please. All panelists and also all moderators, the speakers. Bapak, please also join us here on the stage, Pak. Bapak Himawan, please also join us here on the stage, Bapak. For the first opportunity, please kindly look at the main photographer, the one that raised his hand. Main photographer, kindly raise your hand. Main photographer, please kindly raise your hand. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Let's give another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And by this, Excellencies, honorable speakers, ladies and gentlemen, we have concluded the opening session and we will now adjourn to the talk show session. Gentlemen on the stage, thank you so much. You may now return to your chair. Okay, please then. Now without the mask. Always 2 versions currently. This is a new way in the COVID outbreak. Photo and video is done. Thank you so much once again. You may now return to your chair. Thank you so much, gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we have concluded the opening session for our business forum today. And now it is time for us to start the talk show session. A decision to invest in particular country is also determined by the availability of supporting infrastructure. Therefore, Indonesia has ambitious plan to improve its infrastructure, which include the access to energy, connectivity, telecommunication, broadband network, as well as agriculture productions. Today in our business forum, we will have a fruitful discussion regarding the most recent condition of Indonesia in regards to its competitiveness as investment destination. This session will be led by our moderator, Bapak Nurul Ihwan. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to welcome the moderator, Deputy Chairman for Investment Planning, the Ministry of Investment of the Republic of Indonesia. Please welcome on the stage, Bapak Nurul Ihwan. I will now hand the floor to the moderator. Moderator, time is yours.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so since the opening ceremony is already gone, so we have to be more relaxed and we just speak more on the opportunities that we have in Indonesia. But first of all, I just would like to say thank you and appreciate for your coming today, because this is about the momentum for us to celebrate about the tightening of bilateral relations between Indonesia and UAE. And because of this, we just would like to take advantage on this momentum, and we followed all the things that has been doing by the government of Indonesia, especially our president, by having these business sessions today. And maybe you may have already aware of that Indonesia is currently moving forward into changing of the mindset and also the strategy of the development of the country. And because of this, we would like to have more downstream industry in Indonesia. So that's why a couple of weeks ago, our president stated that Indonesia, after the nickel downstreaming strategy, we are going to have another metal downstreaming industry. And at the same time, we would like also to have our tourism industry and then also connectivity with all the projects that we have in Indonesia to be open for you all to take participations. And whether or not Indonesia is still a country with a very good interest for the investors, I should say that it is yes. And it is approved by the investment realizations that we have for this year 2021, because up to the third quarter of this year, the achievement of investment realizations in Indonesia achieved of 45.1 billion US dollars. It is around 73.3% of the target, which is 61.6 billion US dollars. So it is indicating of a clear interest of investors to come to Indonesia. And in terms of participations from UAE in Indonesia, started from 2016 up to the third quarter of 2021, UAE in the 27th rank of international or global investment in Indonesia. And I do hope by this moment and also a better relations of both countries, this will open up more opportunities to you all. And we would like to be an honor to be your service. And because of this then, we just would like to share these sessions by inviting speakers today that will be highlighting on the policy of changing the strategy of Indonesia into more downstream industry. And we would like also to hear about the strategy, the planning that is designed by Ministry of National Planning about the future of Indonesia, especially passing through the 2045 or golden age of Indonesia. And we are going also to hear about project opportunities that we have. And we are going to hear as well about investment incentives that will be provided by the government of Indonesia for every investment opportunities that we would like to offer to you. So without further ado, I just would like to invite our speakers. So first of all, by online, we have already Ibu Amalia Adininggar Widyasanti. She is Deputy Minister for Economic Affairs, Ministry of National Development Planning. And we have also the second one, and we would like also to invite on the stage, Pak Snyder Kleisen Hasudunangan Siahaan. He is Deputy Minister for Development Funding Affairs, Ministry of National Development Planning, Bappenas. And the third speaker will be Director General of Budget Financing and Risk Management, Ministry of Finance. That's Mr. Luki Alfirman. And then last but not least, there will be representative of Indonesia Investment Authority, Mr. Stefanus Hadiwijaya, Chief of Investment Office, that will be joining us by the Zoom. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just would like to try to start discussions by asking questions to the speakers. And Pak Siahaan, allow me just to invite Bu Winnie first here, Pak. Yeah, thank you. So the questions for Bu Winnie, in order to give the opportunity and understanding for all the participants today, Bu Winnie, Indonesia's strategies to face the global microeconomic conditions and also how Indonesia govern the encourage economic transformations through investment opportunities, and especially when it is linked as well about the concerns of more green and more blue and also recycle economy in Indonesia. Would you mind updating us with the strategy of Indonesia in changing of our economy? The time is yours, Ibu. Please, you have not more than 10 minutes. Sorry.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, and thank you very much, Pak Nurul, for giving me the opportunity to share about Indonesia's current strategies to face the global macroeconomic situation and condition. And one of the important ones that we would like to share with you all, Indonesia now is going to transform our economy. We call it Indonesia's economic transformation agenda, along with our investment opportunity that is going forward. And also allow me to extend my gratitude to all participants here and hope everyone is in a good health. COVID-19 pandemic has brought changes to the current and future trends, and there are a great demand on automation, artificial intelligence, new pattern of global value chain, as well as green recovery. But at the same time, we are also facing declining productivity and the challenge of shifting the future work. Indonesia's recent economic indicators showing a stronger growth, and there is a clear signal of good improvement and recovery acceleration in our economy. And this is, of course, supported by a massive vaccination program and the fast implementation of health protocols. And therefore, Indonesian economy in the fourth quarter of 2021 is projected to grow at the rate of 5.5 to 6.1%. And it is resulting a better economic performance of Indonesia than last year. And in the whole year of 2021, Indonesian economy is projected to grow at the rate of 3.8 to 4.0%. As Indonesian economic recovery has been promising and becoming stronger, we are shaping a better development target in 2022. For your information, ladies and gentlemen, the GDP growth target in 2021 is set into 5.2 to 5.5%. Also meaning that there's like a better perspective of our economy because our economic recovery is accelerating. And this high growth will put down the poverty rate to 8.5 to 9.0% and the unemployment rate to 5.5 to 6.3%. At the same time, we are also really concerned with reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And of course, we are also going to increase the Human Development Index. For your information, Indonesia's fiscal management has been prudent and consolidated, indicating by moderate fiscal deficit and also lowest government debt among the peers. And moreover, Indonesia is actually, as mentioned by Pak Nurul just now, is naturally located in a prime location for investment, as it is geographically in a strategic location and has a big number of population. Indonesia also actively participates in bilateral and regional free trade arrangement and comprehensive economic partnership agreement. And at the same time, Indonesia has abundant natural resources that have many potentials to create economic value added from these resources. And also there's a lot of potential for us to diversify and to produce the downstreaming products from our natural resources. Last but not least, Indonesian diversity in culture and Indonesian natural capital is also very prospective to develop a quality and more sustainable tourism. And this will put Indonesia as a unique tourism destination in the world. Furthermore, Indonesia is one of the most attractive countries to invest due to the size of our economy, its increasing economic activity, and also low unemployment rate. In the post-COVID-19 pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia will not only recover, but we are going to transform our economy. Economic recovery is necessary, but not sufficient. as we need to boost our economic productivity to improve our economic trajectory towards our vision 2045, because we would like to become a high income economy before 2045. And therefore, Indonesia needs a lot of investment today and towards 2045. The total investment required for 2022 to 2045 is around 45.3 trillion US dollars. And the role of government investment is limited to only around 10.5% from total investment required. And therefore, non-government investment will take a high proportion to finance the Indonesian development. In this regard, ladies and gentlemen, I would say that Indonesia is now redesigning an inclusive and sustainable economic transformation with SDGs as the main instruments in each strategy. As you know, that in each strategy of our Indonesian economic transformation, the SDGs goal is mainstreamed into each strategy. For your information, there are 6 big strategies of Indonesian new transformation agenda. Those are competitive human resources, improving economic productivity that will include industrialization, improving micro and small medium enterprises productivity, and also agricultural modernization. The third strategy is green economy that was mentioned by Pak Nurul just now. Indonesia is really moving towards green economy, where low carbon economy, blue economy, and energy transition will be in there. The fourth one is digital transformation. The fifth one is domestic economic integration. As you know, that Indonesia consisting of many islands, but we have abundant resources. We would like to make a stronger economic links between one island to another island to make an Indonesian economic powerhouse. And the last strategy is the capital city relocation to our East Kalimantan area. As a prime example of economic recovery and transformation in Indonesia is actually Bali economic transformation. The document, yes, Pa, 1 more minute.
Yeah, you still have 1 minute left. Thank you.
Thank you, Pa. And I would like to give you an example of Bali economic transformation, because the document was just launched by our president last week. And we are now transforming Bali economy into a new Bali era, which is green, resilient, and prosperous. Bali's economy originally needs to transform as its economy is highly dependent on tourism, making this region very vulnerable to economic shocks, such as this pandemic. And therefore, we have 6 main strategies for Bali to transform Bali: Bali healthy and educated, Bali productive, Bali green, Bali integrated, Bali smart island, and Bali conducive. And to materialize this, we have a lot of investment opportunity in Bali right now. To conclude this brief, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are inviting everyone here to invest in Indonesia, to contribute to a stronger economic recovery of Indonesia, and to support the Indonesian economic transformation, and to participate in creating the new Bali. Therefore, Indonesia can achieve its 2045 vision to escape from middle income trap. Let's join us towards a more productive, a more inclusive, and a greener Indonesia for the prosperity not only for Indonesia, but also the prosperity of the region and the world. And thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And I offer back to you, Pak Nurul. Thank you.
phases. We think that it is basically needed finance from state budget because mostly non-financially viable. And the next we need is ICT infrastructure and also energy and electricity infrastructures, urban infrastructures, and infrastructure to support the economic. We identified that the four clusters other than infrastructure for basic service can be provided by the state-owned enterprise and also the private sector through PPP as well as the private investment from the private sectors. If you look at we identified the proportion. Now probably the government is will provide around 37% of all the needs. Meanwhile, the private sector will take mostly 42%. And the state-owned enterprise around 21%. Looking at this scheme, we realized that the government has to be open, and now, just like Pak Nurul already, and even our president that realized we have to be more open and transparent and more investor-friendly, so that we can achieve all of this kind of target. In addition to this funding, we just recently we identified the needs for the basic needs for building our new capital city, which is mainly about 8.3 billion for the total capex. And we like to see that and invite our partners from PPP for the private sectors. We look at the column PPP capex estimation up until 2024 is around 3.136 billion is around 30% from our, around close to 40% from the total capex estimation. So this is mainly the current challenge for us because previously we don't think that we have the other side of the sectors which is dominated by the private sectors, but now we have to align our strategy how the government synergize and with the private sector, the other, as well as for the state-owned enterprise. I think that's the most policy for the current, the next 2024 medium term.
Right, thank you. Pak Snyder, can I just request you to give more explanations on the projects that we are going to have in the new capital of Indonesia? So what I mean is, what are the stage is currently in, and the next step at the time the investors having kind of interest to take participations into the PPP or into the private projects for the next schedules?
Okay, Pak. Currently, now we are preparing the legal structure, legal basic. It is under deliberation with the Parliament. Our schedule is expectedly that in January, the law will come into act. It can be implemented. And in the law, it is stated that there will be a new authority for the new capital city that has a mandate and has authority to sign, to procure, and doing cooperation with private sectors. And we identify the basic service that will be built mostly by the government, of course. Yeah. And we invite the private sector for building even the government office as well as the housing for the first stage. Yeah. We are looking at the staging for the moving back. We expect that the first move should be in 2024. So hopefully that the basic infrastructure is already there, and the housing, at least the housing and the government office and some of the amenities that support the area, it could be built before 2024. And now we are encouraging the investors to take part into this first stage, especially for the housing and the government office provision.
Thank you, Pak. So it means that for those who are having interest on the projects inside of the new capital of Indonesia, they have to wait until January While by that time, the law will be approved by the parliament, then we could start to do kind of promotions and inviting all the participants to come to Indonesia for this investment. Thank you so much, Pak Snyder. And ladies and gentlemen, now after knowing about the strategy and then also about investment opportunities, especially in the new capital of Indonesia, we would like also to hear more about the support coming from the government side, especially in terms of incentives, because there will not be any interest of investment without incentives provided by the government. So for this time, I would like to invite Director General of Budget Financings and Risk Management, Ministry of Finance, Mr. Luki Alfirman. The questions for you, Pak Lukman, what kind of government support in fiscal incentives to provisions investment for business entities in Indonesia? Pak Lukman, please, time is yours.
Thank you, Pak Nurul. This is Luki Alfirman from Ministry of Finance. Thank you for the opportunity to participating in this very prestigious event. And as your question, Pak Nurul, basically, just to echo what Pak Menteri shared with us before, and also Ibu Amalia as well as Pak Snyder. However, I will start perhaps with big picture, and I have a very short presentation, but I'll be very quick here. Please, moderator, or can you show my slides? For today, perhaps in terms of facilities, in terms of support from Ministry of Finance or fiscal incentive, fiscal support, I will be focusing on infrastructure development. Using the same slide here, same information that Pak Snyder has shared with us. So basically, in the next 5 years, actually from 2020 to 2024, that we still have big infrastructure gap. And in the past, almost all infrastructure were developed by government. But going forward, we know that government cannot bear all the costs to fill the gap, to close the gap, to close the infrastructure gap. So as Pak Snyder mentioned, in this case, yes, we're going to use, of course, support from government budget, and we're going to utilize our state-owned enterprises. But still, as you can see, we have some budget constraint. So in this case, we might need as much as 42% coming from private sectors. So the question now, or the challenge for us, how to attract this private sector to support our infrastructure development agenda. And long story short, we are working together in the government, of course, with Bappenas as well, with line ministries. So we will be focusing on 4 things. So basically, how to attract this private sector investment. We have to be innovative in terms of try to find these financing instruments like blended finance, like PPP. Yes, we need to provide fiscal support in terms of incentive, for example, and of course, how to improve access to global finance. And next slide, please. So this is very quick. So I'm going to focus on these 3 things, something concrete to attract this private investor, including foreign investor, to support our infrastructure development agenda. We offering 3 scheme or 3 instruments. Number 1 is PPP, public-private partnership. And number 2, SDG Indonesia 1. This is basically a blended finance platform managed by our SMV, Special Mission Vehicle, PT Sarana Multi Infrastructure, or PT SMI. And number 3, we also offer some number of the risking instruments for non-PPP scheme. So let me go through these 3 facilities one by one. So PPP, public-private partnership. This is a new scheme, but it took years for us to prepare to make this PPP scheme really work, to make this PPP scheme attractive or acceptable by investors. As of today, so far we have 28 PPP contracts have been signed. The total investment value 17 billion US dollar. 11 projects have started to operate, 7 projects in the construction phase. And as you can see, we provide a number of facilities or support starting from the project planning and preparation phase. So we provide what's called project development facilities, PDF, for project preparation. Also, we also establish, create what's called land acquisition funding, managed, run by State Asset Management Agency, ALMAN. As we know that in some developing countries, land acquisition has often been a problem for infrastructure development. And for project structuring phase, we also provide a number of facilities. We have what's called Viability Gap Fund, VGF. This is kind of infrastructure construction subsidy, basically. We also provide ability payment assistance for the implementation of the AP payment by our line ministries. We also provide government guarantee for PPP project. We have established IIGF, Indonesia Infrastructure Guarantee Fund, and other fiscal support, of course, like tax incentive as well. So all those facilities have been already in place, ready to use, in fact, already used. And going forward, we will be focusing on 6 sectors, but not limited. So as you can see here, we will be focusing on drinking water, hospital, urban transport, waste management, housing, gas distribution. But of course, if there are some other priorities, like for example, the new capital city, of course, we will also provide some support under this PPP scheme. And however, we also, for PPP scheme, we also implement what's called quality infrastructure development developed by G20 as well. So we ensure that what we are building, what we are developing, align with the, for example, our green agenda, for example, sustainable agenda. That's also something that we are looking at under this PPP scheme. Next slide. Very quickly here, as you can see, those projects, those PPP scheme really work for Indonesia. And in terms of location, as you can see, those projects already located in different parts of Indonesia, Sumatra, Kalimantan, Java, Sulawesi, and in the part also in Papua and Maluku. And so far, 50 projects in total covering 9 sectors. And as I mentioned before, the 28 projects amounted 17 billion already being signed. Operation 11 project, construction 7 project, pre-construction 10 project, bidding still transaction phase 4 project, and still preparation 18 projects. So that for PPP scheme. And the second scheme next is called blended finance. So basically, when we got introduced with this blended finance concept, we saw this as kind of very good opportunity for us to even further push our infrastructure development agenda, including pursuing our achieving our SDG agenda. So we work together with our special mission vehicle, PT SMI, and then we created this platform, SDG Indonesia 1. So basically, this very concrete platform to implement this blended finance concept. And this is to implement sustainable and quality infrastructure. So under this platform, basically we have menu. At least now investors can choose from those 4 different facilities. For so-called different facilities, the risking facilities, financing facilities, or equity fund. It is facilitated by PT SMI. And so far, it was established in October 2018. And so far, we have managed, or PT SMI has managed around a commitment of 3.27 billion US dollar from 33 partners. And the number 3, the last one, is the risking instrument for non-PPP scheme. So in this case, even for non-PP government, in this case, Ministry of Finance also has been offering different kind of facilities or support. Number one, for example, government guarantee for sure. And in terms of government guarantee, we provide also credit guarantee and business viability guarantee for certain sectors like drinking water, infrastructure, toll road, transportation, last but not least, of course, electricity. And now we are also to support this renewable energy, to support this climate change. One of them, Indonesia is very rich with geothermal. So that's why government also is very serious in developing geothermal sector. And one of them by providing different number of facilities to support geothermal sectors. And there are 4 of them at least here, as you can see: direct lending with government guarantee to our SOEs, business viability guarantee letter, facilities of infrastructure financing for geothermal sector, and SLA subsidiary loan agreement. Again, those facilities are already in place, ready to use for investors. This is my last slide. Beside those or above facilities, yes, of course, we also provide more generic fiscal incentive to create this conducive investment climate. We have tax holiday, we have tax allowance, we have investment allowance, we have super deduction tax. And last but not least, even during the pandemic outbreak, government of Indonesia see this as the good timing also for us, important for us to push our structural reform agenda. So that's why last year, for example, with the parliament, we passed the omnibus law on job creation. Again, this law basically is try to address this the bottlenecking issues, try to improve business or investment climate. And the most recent one, just two months ago, government also worked together with our parliament. We passed the new tax reform law, or it's called tax regulation harmonization law, to strengthen tax reform. And at least with those two structural reform legislation, I think Indonesia will be much more attractive for investors, including foreign investors. I will stop right here. Of course, if there's some question, I will be happy to answer that. Back to you, Pak Nurul.
Thank you, Pak Luki Alfirman. So sorry for mismentioning your name. Applause for him, for Pak Alfirman. Thank you so much. Yes. So tax holiday, tax allowance, and also investment allowance, and plus super deduction tax. I guess those are the things that you are happy to hear with. And I do believe that this will be well implemented as well in the development planning agencies, and the unit of investment coordinating board or Ministry of Investment will be the administration's unit that will process all of these requests coming from the tax allowance come to super tax deductions as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like also to hear more investment opportunities that is already designed specifically by the government of Indonesia through the Indonesia Investment Authority. So with us online, we have already Mr. Stepanus Hadiwijaya. He is the Chief Investment Officer of our Indonesia Investment Authority, or INA. So Pak Stepanus, would you mind updating us briefly about the INA and then also Sovereign Wealth Fund that we have, and of course, the projects that you could offer to all the audience here? Please, Pak Stepanus, time is yours.
Thank you, Pak Nurul, for the opportunity. Hi, Bu Amalia, Pak Luki, Pak Snyder. Good to have this panel together with you. Let me start with give you a brief about Indonesia Investment Authority. I'm quite sure many of the audience are already quite familiar because we have traveled a few times to UAE as well. So Indonesia Investment Authority is the newly set up Sovereign Wealth Fund of Indonesia. We are being set up in February. We have two goals. One is obviously a commercial goals to provide return to accumulate wealth for the future generation. The second goal is to stimulate the development, the economic development and social development in Indonesia, right? And to deliver these two vision, we have a couple of approach. One of the key things of our strategy is to invest through a collaboration with the global, a credible global investor. So this is a very important mandate of INA. So whenever we want to invest, we always need to find a partner to co-invest with us. And we have done so in the past 6 months or so since we are being set up. We have been talking to more than 100 global investors, ranging from global sovereign wealth fund, financial investors, private equity, all the way to the strategic investors. So we want to create this collaboration. We want to partner to invest in the right asset in Indonesia. So I think that's part of the key goals. And not only that, more importantly also for us is we want to find partner that can create value to the asset, right? So for example, if it is an health asset in the healthcare, we want to find an investor with a strong experience in healthcare that can provide value add to the asset itself, that obviously can benefit us as the investor together with the global partner, but also to benefit the asset and eventually the overall economic development. So to answer your second question, Mr. Nurul, in regards of the investment opportunity, the way we see Indonesia and the way we approach the sector, we focus on few key pillars, mainly around infrastructure, right? As being mentioned also by Mr. Luki, so Indonesia Investment Authority want to play a role to make sure the goals of the government in infrastructure development is achieved through the private investment. Right? But when we define infrastructure, we can divide it into a couple of pillars. First is the transportation and logistics, which include investment in toll road, seaport, airport, cargo, and so on. The second pillar is digital infrastructure. We just did an investment in one of the largest telco tower in Indonesia and even in the region. And we also have ADIA, Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, and Abu Dhabi Growth Fund to also invest in this asset as anchoring the IPO. So in digital infrastructure, we'll have investment not only in telco tower, but later on in data center, as well as in fiber and so on. The third pillar is social infrastructure, which include healthcare, financial services, and so on. And the other pillar is renewable energy, right? And or what we call green investing. So these are some of the example of few pillars of investments that we are pursuing in Indonesia. And in each pillar, we have been talking to so many different investors, including investors from UAE and Middle Eastern investor to co-invest with us. And then we have actually shared a few specific deals, including the one in transportation or logistics, which is the toll road, seaport, airport, as well as all the way to investment opportunity in healthcare. So we have been in active discussion with some of the largest investors in the world. So that's to summarize the answer to your question, Mr. Nurul. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Stefanus. Before I invite the questions coming from the floor, I just would like to ask more curious questions to you, Pak, because you mentioned the pillars, among others, is about renewable energy. And when we talk about this renewable energy, it means that we are providing of a green energy for industry coming to Indonesia. And as we attract as well investment coming from other countries, and they have to support also the global, act as a global supply of industry, they require as well green energy for their processing industry, including in Indonesia. So what will be the strategy between the INA, and also with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources and also PTPLN in providing a greener energy in Indonesia as an investment opportunity?
Thank you, Mr. Nuller. The way we see renewable and green investing is quite broad, not only about the alternative energy itself, all the way to, for example, waste management, which is an area that is very important, right? To manage the waste, to reprocess the waste, eventually to waste to energy. Just being open, Pak Nurul, I think at this point we are still crafting the right strategy to play in this renewable energy. I think the main focus in the past 6 to 9 months has been on the transportation, logistics, digital infrastructure, and healthcare. I think the big pillar that we want to focus more is renewable energy going in 2022 and going forward. And I think we'll definitely need to sit down together with Minister of Energy and PLN on how to bring this forward. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you,
Nurul,
Pastor.
as I mentioned, Mr. Nurul, I think, sorry, because of the meetings being postponed. I have an urgent meeting after this, but thank you very much for the opportunity, Mr. Nuller. And I would love to, for any of the investor to connect us directly through BKPM, for example, we can share a bit more detail on many of the projects or the opportunities that we are currently working on. And I think AENA is clearly one of the very important strategy from the president and the government of Indonesia to really encourage investor to come to Indonesia. And I think, as we say, AENA will look any investment from the commercial perspective. Obviously, we have the angle of development, but we are a commercial investor. So we have the same mindset with the global investor on how to look the investment that can deliver an optimal impact, risk-adjusted return to all the investors, but at the same time will create the value to the economic and social development. Thank you again, Mr. Nurul, for your opportunity.
Thank you very much, Pak Stefanus Adiwijaya. Thank you for joining us. And at least we know that at the time the investors, they are looking for partners in doing investment in Indonesia. We have INA or INA that will be a very good strategic partners for you. Thank you for joining us, Stefanus.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nurul.
Ladies and gentlemen, we still have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left. I just would like to invite questions coming from the floors. If you have some questions, please raise your hand. But unfortunately, I just would like to invite only one questions because time is very limited. Is there any? All right. If there is no questions, I just would like to introduce one of important persons for us here in UAE, who is our representative of Investment Ministry or BKPM. So we have Mr. Iwan Ungsi. Where is Mr. Iwan Ungsi? Are you? Ah, that's the gentleman is over there. He's standing there. So in case you are looking for more detailed informations or even facilitations for your interest of doing investment in Indonesia, Mr. Iwan Ungsi will be the one to facilitate you and will be the contact point of you to any ministries in Indonesia and also any regencies, provinces, and cities in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your participations, and we do hope that this first sessions has already been giving you the informations about opportunities, regulations, transformations, and also incentives of doing investment in Indonesia. Thank you so much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much to our moderator, Bapak Nurul Ikhwan, the Deputy of Investment Planning from the Ministry of Investment of the Republic of Indonesia, as well as all panelists in the first session. You may now return back to your chair. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before we start the second panel session, I would like to inform the online participants. So you may start to type or to write your questions later on to the speakers on the second panel session in the chat box. And don't forget, please, to write it based on the format that is include your name, your organization, and also to whom your questions is proposed. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to the second panel session. Over the past few years, Indonesia has delivered a very backbone infrastructure projects. And we have several projects in the pipeline, which are very strategic, of course, for future cooperations with all of you. And next, we will take you to explore and also update the opportunities of infrastructure projects across Indonesia. And this session will be also moderated by Bapak Ricky Kusmayadi, Director for Promotion Development from the Ministry of Investment, Indonesia Investment Coordinating Board. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on the stage Bapak Ricky Kusmayadi. So moderator, time is yours.
Jake, okay. Thank you very much, MCs. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce myself. My name is Ricky Kusmayadi. I'm a Director of Promotion Development of Ministry Investment BKPM. So, before we start, I would like to share with you that according to investment realization in Indonesia by sector during January until September in 2021, housing, industrial estate, and office building sectors are in the first rank with value of about 6.08 billion US dollars, or it's about 13.5% of the total investment. While transportation, warehouse, and telecommunication sectors are in the third rank of the value of 5.48 billion US dollar, or about 12.1% of total investment. This data shows that the sectors that will be presented today is varied sectors in Indonesia, and one of the priority sectors to be promoted by Indonesian government. Without further ado, I would like to invite our colleague from the Ministries of Transportation of Republic Indonesia in the online Zoom online, His Excellency Ambassador Muhammad Iskandar Shah dari Aman, and then he's a senior advisor to the Ministry of Transportation of Republic Indonesia. And then we have our colleague from the Ministry of Public Works and Housing, Ibu Reni Hyantini, Director of Infrastructure Financing for Road and Bridge. And also we have with us right now, Pak Brago. Could you please come with us? He's a marketing manager of Batang Integrated Industrial Estate. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, with the first one, we have our excellencies, Bapak Dery Aman. The time is yours. Please, Pak Dery. With the online one. Is there any something? Okay. Oh, sorry again, because of the technical condition. Pak Dery, can you please show your cameras in the Zoom meeting? Mr. Dery? Yeah. So, yeah, finally, I'm really sorry about the technical problem. So, Pak Dery, let us start with your presentation. The time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, moderator.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good day to everyone. It is indeed an honor and pleasure for me to present the Ministry of Transportation, especially on the projects with regard to the public-private partnership. And at this point of time, I have prepared my presentation in focusing a number of public-private partnership projects, especially in the transportation infrastructure projects. First of all, let me start by emphasizing that one of the President's top priority agenda is about the development of infrastructures, including in the transportation sector. As you can see from the presentation, I apologize for the technical glitch that we are experiencing right now. I hope that my presentation can be seen by everyone. So again, my presentation will be focusing on the public-private partnership transportation infrastructure projects. And as you can see in the first slide, the priority agenda of President Joko Widodo is infrastructure development, including infrastructure developments in the transportation sector. And based on our calculation, for the period year of 2020 to 2024, we will be needing around $88.2 billion in order for us in the Ministry of Transportation to build or develop transportation infrastructures throughout Indonesia. However, the capacity of the government to fulfill the needs of transportation sector investment needs is only 20%. Therefore, there are around 80% of it, from $88.2 billion that we need investment from the private sectors. And this would represent, of course, a big opportunity for our colleagues and friends from the private sector to invest in transportation infrastructure projects in Indonesia. One of the sources that we are trying to promote for the last 4 or 5 years in the Ministry of Transportation is by using the alternative financing schemes. In this regard, the public-private partnership scheme. If I may continue, PPP transportation infrastructure projects can be applied on airports, land transportation, seaports, railways, so the transportation with regard to inland waterways. Public-private partnership priority projects at this point of time in the Ministry of Transportation can be seen in this slide. There are a total of 7 projects, 2 projects with regard to airport, 3 projects on seaport, 1 project on land transportation, and 1 project in the railway sector. So if I may continue, there are 3 projects that are still in the outline business case preparation segment, which is the new Ambon Port New Palembang Port, and the Singkawang Airport in Kalimantan or Borneo. We have one which is already in the process of PQ, which is the proving ground in Bekasi, just outside of Jakarta, which will be the largest vehicle testing center in Southeast Asia. And then we have two projects that are already in the PPP agreement signing. The first is the Comodo or Labuan Bajo Airport, and the second is the Patimban Port. One project which is already in the construction phase is the Makassar Paripari Railway, located in Sulawesi, which is one project, railway project outside, the first outside Java and Sumatra. If we see the project's location, as you can see in the archipelago of Indonesia, it is quite scattered. There are 4 in the western part of Indonesia and 3 in the eastern part of Indonesia. The Singkawang Airport will be directed towards unlocking the potentials of Singkawang and Kalimantan in trade and tourism. And I could also mention that the new capital city that we are planning will be in East Kalimantan. So therefore, this airport will be very strategic in trying to boost the economic growth in the Kalimantan or Borneo area. The new Palembang port, located in South Sumatra, we are hoping that this port will be the hub port integrated with a special economic zone located in the western part of Indonesia. The proving ground, as I have mentioned, just in the outskirts of Jakarta, will be Southeast Asia's largest vehicle testing site. And the Patimban port, located in West Java, is going to be the largest port in Indonesia to support the export and import of vehicles and industrial growth in the western part of Indonesia. The Comodo Airport, by the name, we can be aware that this is the place where the World Heritage of the Komodo dragon lives, which is in the parts of East Nusa Tenggara in Indonesia. The Comodo Airport is trying to empower tourism, increasing the number of passengers and cargo in this area, and also for the enhancement and the increase of tourism in the area, especially where people can see the Komodo dragon. The new Ambon port, located in the eastern part of Indonesia, is very strategic, since to the north, it will be an open sea towards the mainland of Asia, China and Japan, and all other areas in the north. It is the eastern gateway for international trade, integrated cargo, and the fisheries and industrial activities. As I've also mentioned, the Makassar Paripari Railways is the first railway network in Sulawesi, which is outside the railway networks that we already have in Java and Sumatra. I would like to share 2 success stories with regard the public-private partnership scheme that we already have. The first is the Makassar Paripari Railway, which is now in the construction phase. This represents the first success story of public-private partnership with regard to infrastructure transportation infrastructure projects in Indonesia, where we already signed the agreement and we already have the consortium between local partners and also from outside Indonesia. The second success story that I would like to share is the Patimban Port. We also have already the consortium, and we are heading towards the final agreement signing of the public-private partnership project. And as you can see from the photo, it is already being launched. It is already operational, while all the remaining infrastructures that we have to build are still ongoing. And through this consortium, we are still open to have further collaboration and cooperation with any related or interested parties in support to the finalization of this Patimban Port.
Pak Denny, sorry, 2 more minutes, Pak.
Okay. The next that I want to share is on the special week Dubai Expo 2020, which will be held on the 21st to 27th January 2022. The most important part of this special week of the Ministry of Transportation at the Dubai Expo is the Business Forum, which will be held on the 24th and 25th of January, where we have 2 main activities. The first will be the Transportation Project Conference, where we will promote and offer and explain all the transportation projects using the PPP schemes. And also the second activity is the one-on-one meeting, where any parties can have a discussion with our representatives on all the 5 PPP projects, as well as other transportation infrastructure projects that we have in Indonesia. The other transportation infrastructure projects, as you can see in the next slide, there are currently 21 projects that are still in the preliminary phase of preliminary study, which consists of projects in ports, in land transportation, airports, and also railways, including inland waterways such as in Papua. So if you can see from the map of Indonesia, the archipelago that we have in Indonesia, it spans from the west to the east, from the north to the south of Indonesia, 21 projects that we will explain further during the special week of the Ministry of Transportation in January. So therefore, through this forum and through my presentation, I would kindly invite our colleagues and friends from the private sector, investors, to come to the special week of the Ministry of Transportation in January 2022 in Dubai Expo 2020, where we also have prepared the info memos of each of the projects, of each of the transportation infrastructure projects that we are going to offer, that we are going to promote, and we are hoping that we can discuss and have a cooperation and collaboration, especially under the scheme of public-private partnership. And again, the Ministry of Transportation welcomes and open our door towards the private sector in meeting us during the special week of the Ministry of Transportation at the Dubai Expo 2020 in January. So I welcome everyone to come to the special week in January. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Dery. As we can see, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of opportunities in the infrastructure sector that you can try and get more information about these sectors. And then for the next panelist is Ibu Reni Hyantini. She will talk about the project pipeline in the public works and housing sectors. Bu Reni, times is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the Ministry of National Development Planning and Ministry of Investment for holding this meeting. My name is Reni Ahyantini. I'm a Director of Road and Bridges Infrastructure Financing from Ministry of Public Works and Housing, Indonesia. In this opportunity, I'm honored to deliver a presentation regarding project pipeline in public works and housing sector. Allow me to share the presentation. Ricky, in Indonesia in Jakarta is Azan Maghrib. Would you please give me 1 minute?
Sorry again, Bu Reni?
Is Azan Maghrib here in Jakarta, Pak Ricky? Give me 1 minute for
Oh, sure.
finishing the Azan.
Maghrib time, so we wait for the Azan in Jakarta first. Sorry.
Okay, Pak Ricky.
Yes, please.
Allow me to share this slide in the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, in this slide, I would like to share about the infrastructure challenges in the Ministry of Public Works and Housing. As we can see on the screen, the Ministry of Public Works and Housing had a mandate to build and maintain 4 infrastructure sectors, which are highways, human settlements, housing, and water resources. The number here are the targets for 2020 till 2024. So the target for highway sectors, as we can see here, is 2,500 kilometers of national highways, 3,000 kilometers of new roads, 60,000 meters of bridges, and 35,000 meters of new flyover and underpass. For human settlement sector, the target here are, among others, are 90% area covered by clean water system, 80% area covered by sanitation system, 2,000 hectares slum upgrading, 11 unit border post development, and around 5,500 unit school, sports, and market development and rehabilitation. For housing sector, the targets, among others, are 50,000 units of flats and 1 million units of low-income housing. And for water resources, others are 60 units dams, 1,000 units reservoir, etc. As mentioned before in the previous session, we also in Ministry of Public Works and Housing has a funding gap. As we can see here, the budget needs for 2020 till 2024, the total infrastructure investment needed is around 146 billion US dollar, consists of about 41 billion for water resources and then 55 billion for housing, 9 billion for urban settlement, and about 50 billion for highways. The funding gaps is about 70%. So we still have the gap here, which set budget only available for the 44 billion US dollar. So this is still a big funding gap for the infrastructure development. The key aspect for enhancing investment in public works and housing sectors, maybe some of this already mentioned deeply in the previous session. These the key aspects which related to infrastructure in Ministry of Public Works and Housing. So we have the certainty of tariffs for the toll roads. There is a tariff adjustment biannually based on the inflation. And the second, we have the regulation for land acquisition as stipulated in the law number 2/2012 on land acquisition in the public interest. And the third, private entities can finance land costs, which will be returned in the form of cash or included in the investment. The fourth, we also utilize the tax holiday incentive as mentioned in this session before. In this infrastructure development, the tax holiday incentive are for new capital investments and business expansion in pioneer industries, including economic infrastructure. And we also have land acquisition costs for National Strategic Project, which is supported by Lembaga Manajemen Aset Negara or Land Acquisition Agency. And for the list of PPP for toll roads, water, housing, and water resources, those are included in the positive investment list. So the foreign ownership is allowed up to 100% as stipulated in Presidential Regulation number 10/2021 as amended by Presidential Regulation number 49/2020. The last thing is investment in PPP projects are guaranteed by the Indonesia Infrastructure Guarantee Fund. So the political risk and payment risk also are covered by IIGF. Let me go to the project that we have. This is 6 projects of the new investment project, in public works and housing sector. So those 6 projects consist of 5 toll road projects and 1 permanent water resources for the maintenance and mini hydropower. Those projects are estimated will be go to the next step for pre-qualification stage in the Q1 2022. Except for the Kamal, Teluk Nagara Jikto Road is already in progress. So it's already in progress since beginning of November 2025. We have Semanan Balaraja Toll Roads in West Java Province, Kamal Teluk Nagara Jikto Roads in DKI Jakarta and Banten Province, South Sentul and West Karawang Toll Road in West Java Province, Bogor Serpong Toll Roads via Parung, located in Bogor, West Java Province, and then Cikunir Karawaci Elevated Toll Road located in DKI Jakarta Banten Province. And one for the water resources projects is Bintang Bano Dam and Mini Hydropower, located in West Sumbawa Regency in West Nusa Tenggara. The next project is the end of brownfield project opportunities for this. Most of the project located in Java Island, except one project. All of these brownfield projects is a toll project, and the total investment is around $8.75 billion US dollar. As we can see here, we have Gempol Pasuruan Toll Road located in East Java Province, Gempol Pandaan Toll Road also in East Java Province. We also offer the Jakarta Cikampek Elevated 2 Toll Road located in Greater Jakarta. Solo Yogyakarta New Jogja International Airport Kulon Progo Toll Road located in Central Java, Yogyakarta Province. And then Yogyakarta Bawen Toll Road located in Central Java, Jogja Province. 6 projects is Depok Antasari Toll Road located in Greater Jakarta, and then Krian Legundi Bundar Manyar Toll Road in East Java Province, Ciawi Sukabumi Toll Road in West Java Province, Bekasi Cawang Kampung Melayu Toll Road in Greater Jakarta, and Kayu Agung Palembang Betung Toll Road in South Sumatra Province. So this is the one project that is not located in Java Island, in South Sumatra Province. These are 10 brownfield projects that we offer in this forum. The next is the upcoming PPP project. We have 7 projects here, which consist of 3 projects on housing sectors, 1 project on highway or bridge here, and then 2 projects of water resources, and 1 project for water supply system. The total investment here is around 2.6 to 8 billion US dollar, which are consist of integrated rented vertical housing, Semangke on a special economic zone located in North Sumatra Province. And the second is Karawang Spur vertical housing located in West Java Province. Next project is Sarantan Bina Harapan vertical housing located in West Java Province. And we also have a project for development Batam Bintan Bridge, which is located in Riau Archipelago Province. We have a water resources project here, Merangin Dam, which is located in Jambi Province, Sumatra. And then Bodri Dam, which is located in Central Java Province. And the last project here, the upcoming, is Juanda Drinking Water Supply System, which will be integrated project from upstream to customer connection. So this is the integrated project. I already finished the presentation, Pak Ricky. So those three categories of the project that we offer as a pipeline from the Ministry of Public Works and Housing here. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you, Bu Reni. And then, as we can see, we already got information about the most of them is the infrastructure project that Indonesian have currently. So for the next panelists, we will talking about the industrial estates that has been promoted by our government right now. Please, Pak Brago, time is yours. Thank you.
Tes. Right, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. His Excellencies and other honored guests. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Brago. I'm the marketing manager from Grand Batang City. Before we enter the presentation, I would like to describe that the Grand Batang City is actually the latest government project in Indonesia that opened the industrial estate for exclusively foreign direct investment to invest in Indonesia. So with a total area of 4,300 hectares, right now we are entering the first phase of 450 hectares, and then we already starting the next phase of 1,000 hectares in actually this December. So Grand Batang City is targeted as the government of Indonesia as the best investment opportunity in Southeast Asia. So not only Indonesia, but the Southeast Asia level. I will explain to you later why. Right, so the first benefit of our location, the Grand Batang City location, so actually the name itself is Batang Industrial Estate, but we branded it as Grand Batang City as it is easier and more catchy for people, okay? So Grand Batang City first benefit is the location. As you can see that we are located in Java Island, right in between Jakarta and Semarang. Jakarta is the central of the government, and actually Semarang is, we can say that is the central of economic also. So it is connected via the toll road that already exists, that is connect Jakarta until Surabaya actually. And we also inside of our location existing is to a double track railway from the state-owned enterprise of PT KAI that can connect also passengers and also logistic into our location. And this double track railway also connects to the seaport, international seaport of Tanjung Priok in Jakarta, Tanjung Mas in Semarang, and also Tanjung Perak in Surabaya. So it is very formidable, the location, and especially later before that from the Ministry of Public Works and the Ministry of Transportation, every pipelines that they described before will also benefit Grand Batang City. For example, the development of Patimban Port and also the development of the Semarang, Solo, Yogyakarta, Bawen toll road. If it is developed, then it is make it easier to distribute the source or the logistics from in and out of our location. So everything about the pipeline of the government regarding the public works and also the transportation will benefit Grand Batang City itself. So Grand Batang City located actually in the heart of the development plan by the government of Indonesia. That is the first benefit of Batang. Can you please do next? Right, next slide. Okay, so right now Grand Batang City has not be as a special economic zone, but we already proposed and we targeted the next year that we will become one. And then we also get a lot of support by the ministries for actually almost more than 13 instantion that is in our pocket. So they are supporting us in all of the sectors. The Ministry of Investment, for example, they provide us with this opportunity. The Ministry of Public Works for developing the infrastructure and also utilities, and other supporting ministries as a regulator and also as operator. So it is very different with other industrial estate. We are as the main the center of promotion of the government Indonesia at current time. Can you please do next? Next slide, please. Right. So other benefit from Grand Batang City, as we are fully supported by the government, we are also working very closely with the Ministry of Labor Works, and we already maps that almost 108,000 ready for looking for the jobs. This is not just of people available, but skilled people that looking for a job is available to be work in Grand Batang City. And also because one of our shareholder is the local government is also, they want to build like a training center inside of our area, so the workers that will work there, the labor that will work there, minimum they can speak English or Mandarin fluently. So that's about it. And also we are located in a, as we can say, it's already a major infrastructure. As you can see, surrounding our area, under 50 kilometers radius, we have 123 vocational school and other universities, healthcare, transportation mode, and so on. And also actually at current time, we are the lowest wage that modern industrial estate, international standard industrial estate can offer, which is 2.1 million rupiah per month. So that is actually this the most competitive, because the next one is the Vietnam. It's offering in 3.0. So we are more competitive. So this is actually less than a half that Jakarta and Greater Jakarta can offer the minimum wage. So this is the third benefit also in the labor terms. We have several points that we are can benefit the people that invest in Batang. Can we please go next? Right, so this is also, so we are targeting it to be smart and sustainable, so not by words. We are working together very closely with the other state-owned enterprise. We already signed the MOU to be the first industrial estate fully covered in 5G connectivity. We are also doing our data center currently. We are finding the investor also. It is very open for us to find a partnership. And we are, as I said before, that the local government also involved in the development, so they will build the vocational school inside, and also training center for the worker to live there, to work in Batang as the standardization, and also hassle-free process for the FDI, our friends from abroad, to invest in Batang. The Ministry of Investment already release the feature of click facility and also OSS, so they can register their factory, they can register their company without waiting. And especially, this is the special part, the factory can be built and operate even before the permit is out yet. So this is one of the innovation from the government. This is very innovative, and it is very tempting to the investors. Please next. Right, so this is the pictures. In total 4,300 hectares, and I will gladly say that this is all clean and clear, the status owned by the state-owned enterprise, owned by the states actually. So this the terms is long lease, and on top of it we have three cluster. Cluster one of 3,100 hectares. The second one is 800 hectares for the innovation center. So the first cluster will be focused on industrial, and the third one is the leisure for the golf yard and other theme parks and so on and so on. Also, we are finding our partners to develop that also. Now we are currently finished building the 450 hectares in the first phase, and I will proudly say that we are 95% fulfilled right now in under 8 months. So that's also a new record in Indonesia. And we are also just released the SFB complex warehousings for the logistics centers, and probably tenants that wants to open their workshop in there, and also commercial lot for investors that works in hospital, in condos, hotels, MICE, and so on. Okay, can we please go next? Next slide, please. Right, so this is the pipeline. This is the pipeline that we separated into two phases, phase 1 and phase 2 and 3. The phase 1 is 450 hectares. The phase 2 and 3 in total is 2,650 hectares. But in effective sellable area to offer as industry is 1,200 hectares. At current time, we already sell 200 hectares of it. So we have the reserve of 1,000 hectares to offer as the industry to come in our location. The first phase, the pipeline finish, everything is by the end of 2022. So all including the basic infrastructure and so on. At current time, the tenants who sign with us, they can start building their factory at current time, because our basic infrastructure already support for the construction works. And then our next phase, actually, we move forward by 1 year. Actually, it was originally targeted to be started next year, but because of the demands that comes to us, we are moving it forward to starting this month. Actually, we already opened the next 1,000 hectares first, and all of it targeted to be finished in 2025 for the basic infrastructure, including the international support that we will build inclusive inside of our area. So there will be an international support, there will be a dry port, there will be jetties, and also there will be a data center and everything all inclusive in our area. So can we please go next? Next slide. Yes, this is, I want to show you the progress. Can you please lower the volume so I can also explain? This is per October. So at this, because at current time is already December, there are already a lot of things to already more progressing forward. This is the VIP access, the private access of the Trans Java Toll Road to our location. So this is already finished, and this is the starting of building of 10 towers of low-rise apartments for the labor. So this is what we do, already finished. This one, we have already the marketing gallery before, as you can see. And also we are in our lowest point is 30 meters from the mean sea level. So we have our research in the earthquake and other things, and we are very safe with that because we are not located in the ring of fire location. In our research, the Scala Richter in a year in our area is 0.7 to 1.4. So it is the smallest actually in the Central Java. Right, this is the zone 3. Actually, this will be the central, the Batang government will be here for the permit and licensing. So the tenants who comes to us will be all supported by the PTKITB as the management of the estate to get a hassle-free experience. So they can get a, how do you say it? We can help them to permit and licensing their company. Okay, can we please go to the next slide? Right, so we have now at current time have 3 products. The first being the industrial lot, the second is commercial lot, and the third one is the standard factory buildings. Can we please just go next again? Right, so I would like to say that this is the pictures of the industrial lot that can be offered. So I already told you before that it is 1,200 hectares, and the 200 hectares of it in the blue one, in the cyan one, is already fulfilled. And now we are starting to offer the red one of around 500 to 600 hectares. And now is this starting the land grade, and we are focusing on the industry 4.0 type of industry. So we narrow it down, and we are finished with 3 type of business, which is automotive, ICT, and chemicals. In this also 3 industries, we are also very selective. The automotive that comes to us must support the electric vehicle movement and so on, and also the infrastructure for the electric vehicle. The ICT one must support the technological advancement for the economic of Indonesia also, and also the chemicals one also do not possess the waste to be toxic and dangerous. So we are very selective also with the tenants who comes to us. Okay.
Prago, one
yes, sir?
more minute.
2 more minutes?
Yeah.
1 more minute, okay, sure. Next one, please, we can start. Okay. The other incentive, this is also very interesting, that we offer the most competitive price in Southeast Asia. So actually, we can offer right now in the first phase of USD 50. It's a fixed price by the government of Indonesia. And also we can offer to you right now is a free period of 5 years. So the tenants who sign with us only needs to pay a little sum of down payment to keep the land, and on the 6th year, so they can just finish the payment. And also we also at current time we offer the longest period of time of ownership, which is 8 years. This has never been heard before, because before in Indonesia only offer a maximum 30 years. So this is very new also. And other special incentive could be have from the Ministry of Investment. Please go next again. Smart business complex. We can just go. This is the warehousing. Can we please next again? So we have several types of warehousing, starting for 2,245 square meters up to 1,800 square meters. What is different with this type of warehouse is we develop it as a block, and in one block there are actually 5 modular warehouse which can be joined together. So if it is too small for the factory or the company that wants to invest in us, they can make it as a whole. They can lease at least 5 of it and then make it as one big warehouse. Okay, please go next again. So yeah, this is actually now started to be built and targeted to be finished in August of next year. And we offer the lease minimum lease is very close, which only 2 years, which in our competitor the minimum is 10 years of lease. And we also offer the also competitively 48,000. This is actually per square meter per month. This is actually around 10 to 15% cheaper than the other competitor. And also we are also competitive in other terms of payment and so on. Can we please next? And also next, we are going to build the commercial centers. This is what we are also looking for the investment. Actually, at current time, we are looking for the investors that wants to work with us together in developing and also maintaining, operating a seaport, international port level. And also we are targeted for the LNG business and also renewable energy, because all our tenant is from foreign and they have this special case to be able to have a smart and sustainable business inside. And also other commercial aspect as such as hotel, condos for the higher level of the workers, or hospital, schools, and other things. Okay, can we please next again, please? All right. So if you want to know more about us, please do visit our website at www.grandbatangcity.co.id. We are every single information we are only access it by that website, because we are trying not to have a lot of as you say, middlemen, something like that. We do not have middlemen. So please go directly there and our tenant relation will contact you. Okay, I think that's about it from Grand Batang City. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Pak Prago. All right, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please. Anyone in the room? Yeah, as we know, we already presents about our opportunities, investment in Indonesia, also in the public works sectors, and also in the transportation sectors. And the final presentation coming from Pak Brago is from the Batang, Grand Batang city, that we already have the presentation today. So I would like to conclude. If you have one more question, any question about all the topics that we have today? Okay, no. Yeah. We would like to say many thanks and appreciate the presenters for the informative and interesting presentation today, and to all attendees for active participants and fruitful discussion. Hopefully, it will be beneficial for deciding your investment in the project presented. If you have any inquiry and further discussion, please do not hesitate to contact us. Once again, we have our rep office here in Abu Dhabi, actually, Pak Iwan, that already been just now by Pak Nurul. Yeah, okay. And then if you have any question or the further information, please contact Pak Iwan later on. From me, thank you very much, and you have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
thank you so much to our moderator and of course to the previous moderator as well. Thank you once again to Bapak Ricky and also all of the panelists in the second session. Thank you. You may now return back to your chair. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we Indonesia, we building capacity, we simplifying the processes, we have a supportive regulation, and we also designing innovative incentive to help investors to our pipeline projects. So no worries, invest in Indonesia now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coffee always sounds like a brilliant idea, right? And I'm sure we will have fruitful networking and also chit-chatting later on during the coffee break session. So we invite you to join us because the coffee and tea are already served at the foyer area of this diamond ballroom. As we know, today we also have arranged one-on-one meeting located at the first floor. So for those of you who already scheduled for your one-on-one meeting, please contact our registration desk to check the details of the one-on-one meeting, as once again, it is located at the first floor of this hotel. You may proceed directly to the first floor once you know the details, the designated room for your one-on-one meeting, and the coffee break session is already set up at the first floor as well. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, please join us for the coffee and tea and for further discussion and further networking session. Once again, we conclude this business forum today. On behalf of the Indonesian government, we thank you for your active participation, for your presence today here during our business forum. And of course, we look forward for a mutually beneficial partnership. Investing is a preparation for a successful future. And if you look for investment, please remember us, Indonesia. Have a great day. I'm closing this event with good evening and join us for the coffee and tea and the one-on-one meeting. Have a great day. Thank you.